Guys, in today's tutorial we'll be learning about the Django models, right? So by Django models I mean to say that how Django will be connecting to the database and how we'll be managing tables and all those things. Okay, so by default Django points to the MySQLite database, right? So by default the Django configurations are set to SQLite database, right? There are many kind of database like SQL, NoSQL, Postgres, MongoDB and etc. So in this case by default is SQLite. If you want to see the configurations, then go to the settings.py and there you will find the database variable. This will be holding the uh, Django DB backends as SQLite. So this is the default engine which Django is pointing to. Now next, what are the Django models? So in the traditional approach, suppose you have to make one application then and it has some database. Suppose we have to make a system in which we have merchants, right? So we need to store those merchants somewhere, right? So for that we used to make the table inside the database and that table is named as merchants, right? So and then we used to fire the traditional the SQL queries like create table, merchant and the column names and all. So we'll be learning then how do we create a table in the Django. So a table is represented as the model in Django, right? So if we see, so as I told that we have the few files like models.py, views.py. So models.py is the file where we write our models. So you can see that I have a piece of code in which I have created a model which is named as merchant and that is inheriting models.model. So this is the parent class which is provided by Django and which make this class as a model class. This is the name of the table merchant. Then we have the fields, the columns, name, which is character type, which is varchar in case of the native language. Then we have email. Now this is the varchar type of 150 length. So let me code it in my code. So I go to merchant, models. Now here I will write class merchant. Here we'll have models dot model. Now suppose we have a column named as this names, so that is of character type char field. Then max length, suppose you want to set is equals to 100. Suppose we have another column which is email models dot char field, max length is equals to 150. Cool. So this is just like a table which we have written in Django. So we call it as Django models, right? So we can do a lot of validations over here that can be found on the Django side. So since these are basic tutorials, so I'll be covering very basic things so that you guys learn. So advanced things we will cover in the future tutorials, right? So this is the, so basically I have created one model class, right? But at this stage, Django haven't created this table inside the database, or not we have done that, right? So to achieve that thing, we have to do the things which are known as migrations. Okay, so if I talk about migrations, so now we have created a model. Now we need to say to Django, I have created a table and I want to migrate it to the database, right? So to know Django that you have made any changes in the models and you want to do that to the database, we need to run a command known as python manage make migrations. Now this command does what? This command basically checks all the models.py file in your project and it will detect the changes in done in the models.py, right, in all the models, right? Then it will create some migration files with itself which is having some SQLite code which will make the real tables inside the database. Now, so this command only makes the migration files which are having information that what to do inside the database. Now finally you have to run the command python -v migrate. Now this command will read the migrations which are generated by wake migration, and it will create those tables in the database as we would have done in traditional approaches. Right? Let us see this. So I will go to my shell. Okay. Now I will write python -py make migrations migrations. See, it has written that we have created a model merchant. So now Django knows that Django has to create a merchant table, right? Now to make it into effect, right, we have to write python -py migrate. So you will see a lot of tables have been created. So the some of the tables are so since I have done this command first time, so Django has its own tables which it has to create, right? So you can see here, this is my merchant table which is created inside the database. So that's how I have basically executed my DLL language, right? So that my table is created. So in this case, you can see it is very easy to create or maintain a table using Django migrations, right? So in this, we have a lot of things to learn. In the future tutorials, we'll be learning about the Django ORM system, how to fire a query from Django. So that are available in my next video. So guys, please practice these so that you learn each and everything. Thank you guys.